My hands look gigantic. It's the wide angle. Got big old big hands. Big hands. Ugh, I'm gonna fight you. Hello. So I came here to talk about my game update, my game dev update. So I actually got quite a bit done. It feels like I got a million things done, but it's just because I was drawing every asset by hand, and I did it. So to get you caught up, what we have on itch.io, and by we I mean me and my multiple personalities, we have on itch.io is the bare bones of a concept that I've now flushed out a little bit more. And by a little bit more, I mean a lot of it more. Because, like I said, I was doing stuff in the back end that I couldn't show you because why would you want to look at my very chaotic Python strings that have been cobbled together to make what is now becoming something. It's becoming something, which is really cool. So the something that I've created, so essentially what we had, like I said, was a temporary menu, which I posted in my last update. So it created a temporary menu to show the multiple stories, and I said I wanted to draw doors. So what I did is I redid the menu. Giant hands, it's gonna drive me crazy. So I redid the menu, and it's again temporary. I'm not fully on board with the main menu aspect, but I do like the doors. So the doors look really cool. It's just each door to go to a different story. And so my plan is to have Jesus. So my plan currently is to have an iteration released kind of mid-February. Yes, mid-February, with an updated menu, access to the doors, and then a portion of a secondary story. So I have the first story, which was initially launched. I'm going to keep that the way it is because there's no point in changing anything about it right now because I don't have any updated art assets in regards to that. The second story, I have all the assets I drew myself, which I'll be implementing. And then also, I told myself I wasn't going to make it, but then the other day I actually stayed late at school because I was like, you know what, let's just sit down and just hammer this code out. And I created a journal. Hold your applause, please. Thank you. I know. Giant hands. And so I created a journal aspect for the game, and I made it so when you access the game, the actual story, it'll just be up in the little right corner there. You can click on it whenever you want. So I'm doing that through a series of variables and a lot of very careful organization. So I created, and so just to explain to you how that happened, because I don't gatekeep anything. So if you have any questions as to what I did for my processes, and if you ever venture over to my itch.io page and you're like, whoa, how did she do that? Just ask me. I will happily explain to you because I put extensive notes next to something I created so I can recreate it. Because girl will forget. She will forget. So with the journal, the way I implemented it is through a series of variables, which isn't crazy to talk about because most games are variables. It's just a bundle of variables. So every page has a base page, which you will always see, and then every page you unlock, you will see more. So you can kind of see at the beginning, first part of the story, you can see the first page, and then it's a blank second page, and then that page will fill out throughout the first portion of the story. Because the way this first journal is structured, it follows very strictly the second story, which goes by days. Until it doesn't. No, it goes by days. So the first day something happens, the second day something happens, the third day something happens, and then so on and so forth. Which you will see. You will see that when you get playing it. But yeah, that's what I've gotten done and drew all of that. The one thing that took me the longest for the journal was actually I just got stuck on the certain screens because you know how if you have ever used RenPy or RenPy or whatever you call it, I call it RenPy. You'll see, you know that there's like screen functions, and then so I was having trouble like going in and out of the screen and having your game resume after you go into the screen because it kept going back to the main menu. And then I figured it the fuck out, and I was like, wow, if I just scrolled a little bit down on the which I ended up doing anyways. I'm like, because I was freaking out. I'm just like, how does this work? How does this happen? Why can't I figure it out? I just scrolled down the page on their documentation. I'm like, oh, there it is. Well, oh, Look at that, it works. So that was fun. That was a fun little adventure. I had a little, and this was this morning. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna code this real quick before my appointment. Because last night I was like, I'm just gonna draw this real quick before bed. And then I have all these journals. Like, I'll show you. I have the one for the first story, one for the second story. Been busy. So that is what I will be putting live mid-February, because there are some parts of the second story I need to put the backgrounds into. At first I wanted to change the backgrounds, redraw some of them. I really don't see a point to doing that because I like them. So I'm going to keep them the way they are. But the first story, absolutely. Those backgrounds are free use backgrounds. We're not keeping those. Which actually brings me to the second part of this devlog. So the first part is I'm putting out a new iteration. There's going to be more to the game. I'm leaving the other two stories still in limbo in regards to releasing them because I want to work on more of the assets. So the second part of this devlog is basically where do we go from here? So now that I have an agreeable amount of UI mapped out, I know how to do things. I know how to what I want. I still have one more sub menu I want to add. Maybe I might just actually input it into the journal. I might just do that so everything's neat and knit together, and I don't have to keep adding screens, because nothing is more annoying than clicking through several menus in a game when you just want to play it. So that's that. So for the next portion, I'm going to focus on creating assets. So I'm going to be posting a lot of character art on my Patreon, occasional updates on the itch.io page, but primarily the devlogs are just going to be me talking about the news character I created, my comic works, other stuff, other creative projects I'm working on. So there'll be more vlogs than devlogs, because I need to hammer it out. I need to hammer it out. And so the drawing is going to take a while because it's just me, your boy, your girl. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much covers it in regards to a devlog update. Yeah, and I will be updating the game page with synopsises for the first two stories, including their doors. Anyway, so if you have played it or looked at it or read any of it and you have any feedback, criticism, anything like that, just let me know. Either in the comments below or you can message me on Itch. You can, there's also forums that I've set up there. I'm debating on creating a channel on my Discord, but I also don't want to manage a Discord that sounds like crap. So I probably won't do that yet. If it gets to be overwhelming, I might do it, but it still sounds like crap. Rather you email me. And that's it. So that's it. That's all. That's the update. Glad you're here. Thanks for coming back. If you came back, thanks for joining me. If you've never seen me before, I guess I'll talk to you later. Yeah. Giant hands. How do you do the thing? There it is. Yay.